New evidence, new camera angles, and witnesses are now coming forward in the Takeoff passing incident, revealing a new image on what truly happened to Migos rapper Takeoff on November 1st. It's just been revealed that two people used firearms during this incident, and both men have now been identified. There's now even an evidence file which reveals Quavo's perspective of the entire incident going down. Now, from Quavo's perspective, it all starts on Halloween Day, as Quavo, alongside Takeoff, had a driver for their vehicle all day, as well as another man who's allegedly their security named Migo Bands. Now, Instagram stories piece together a day of full events for these four individuals. Now, with them starting at a get-together party hosted by J Prince Jr., Quavo and Takeoff were there. They started their day performing a few songs for the event at the beginning of the night, to then them relaxing at an after-party room with many businessmen and music industry people just getting together and discussing things. Now, after that was complete, Quavo, Takeoff, and Migo Bands were then seen walking through a shopping center in Houston, Texas, alongside a lump sum of 50 individuals that were all friends and acquaintances of J Prince Jr. Inside of the shopping center is a bowling alley called 810 Billiards in Bowling, Houston. Now, there was up to 50 people at this location, seen standing in a circle with 4 to 6 people taking turns playing each other in games of dice for cash. Reports state that Migos rapper Quavo was one of the 50 men standing around watching people play dice and even playing dice himself, but that has been later confirmed to be false. Quavo was just watching people play dice. Now, while watching, a man then walks up to Quavo. This mystery man starts calling Quavo names. This then led into the man mocking the way Quavo played during a celebrity basketball game just a few weeks prior. Quavo is then seen arguing back and forth with this individual, where Quavo is seen saying, "Man, I don't care about no basketball game." Now, while Quavo and this other man are arguing back and forth, another individual then comes up to them and stands beside Takeoff. This man is seen wearing a yellow sweater, and he's just standing there right beside Quavo and Takeoff. This man was watching them argue with his hands inside of his yellow sweater pocket. As the new camera footage then reveals that when Quavo started walking away from the man he was arguing with, the man then starts swinging at Quavo. This caused Takeoff to step towards Quavo for backup. Then the man in the yellow sweater is seen pulling a firearm from out of his hoodie, and then all you hear in the video is a firearm being used. Now, I also want to mention quickly, earlier on in that night, at the after party, Quavo was seen giving this individual with the yellow sweater a very ugly look. Now, that is something to remember. So the man recording started sprinting away. With the sounds of firearms being used, the 50 lump sum of people then started sprinting away, ducking for cover, hopping over benches and chairs, sprinting out of the mall as fast as everyone could. Meanwhile, sadly, Takeoff is then seen laying on the floor of the mall, with Quavo standing right by his side. At this time, Quavo is trying anything possible to get him help, yelling for help, where luckily a nearby nurse was able to run by and help Quavo during that situation. Now, sources mention that this is Quavo's fault. It really isn't. It all started from the individual that approached Quavo about a meaningless basketball celebrity game. Now, eyewitnesses say that Takeoff was affected by 2 strays as he was just standing there minding his own business. Also, while this all went down and everybody ran out of the mall, Quavo stood his ground and stood beside Takeoff the entire time. He didn't flinch or even think about leaving him. Now, police quickly arrived to the scene. They cleared the area and tried everything to help Takeoff, but sadly, as announced by the nurse that arrived to the scene almost instantly, it was already too late. Now, Quavo's perspective of the incident definitely reveals a new side of how he passed, but it also revealed who the other man with the firearm was. Now, as mentioned earlier, there is 2 people that used firearms, and now the next one has been confirmed to be from Takeoff and Quavo's side. Now, the first individual that used the firearm was obviously the man in the yellow hoodie that I shared earlier. Here's what I found after hours of research on the second man with the firearm. Now, the entire day for Halloween, Takeoff and Quavo were rolling with their driver of their vehicle alongside a man named Migo Bands. On many Instagram stories, you'll see Migo Bands sitting in the back seat of their vehicle and is seen in all of their Instagram posts throughout their night. Now, here's where it gets very strange. An argument starts breaking out between Quavo and the other man. The man in the yellow sweater is then seen creeping up to the location, standing beside Quavo and Takeoff, as mentioned earlier. But do you remember the picture I shared earlier where Quavo was giving this man a very dirty look? Well, it seems as if Quavo gave a heads up to Migo Bands that this guy is awfully strange. As when the man with the yellow sweater approached Quavo and Takeoff, Migo Bands was then seen from another person recording walking towards the lump sum of 50 people. And with yelling and arguing starting to escalate, you can actually see an image of Migo Bands pulling a firearm from out of his waistband, almost like he knew what was just about to go down. As Migo Bands is then seen budging his way to the front of the group where Quavo and Takeoff were standing, being ready for anything that might happen. And well, what do you have it? Witnesses at the scene claim that after the man with the yellow hoodie used his firearm, Migo Bands then used his. This was later confirmed from an actual witness at the scene of the crime. Now, a female named Elizabeth that was at the scene, she was at the mall with a group of friends that were invited from Jay Prince Jr. allegedly. She tweeted just hours after the incident, and I quote, "I'ma speak on this because I feel like I have to. I was right there, right next to Takeoff. They wasn't arguing about a dice game. Quavo was pressed and Takeoff was hit by strays as firearms were used for no reason. Rest in peace, Takeoff. He didn't deserve that, and he was to himself the whole night." Now, this tweet actually had text messages attached to it by people are assuming is her boyfriend that was one of the men allegedly playing dice. As the text messages read, and I quote, "Firearms just started ringing, but they were coming from somebody the Migos was with, but he was using his firearm wild and hit Takeoff on accident. Then the other people started using their firearms back, and I think he got hit again. But ultimately, his own guys did it to him, because when he got hit the first time, I just saw it. Quavo was mad over some small stuff, and it really wasn't worth it. Takeoff was the coolest and quietest guy in that room. He didn't even say a word. He was just chilling in the cut." Now, this answers a lot of the questions that we had in this entire evidence case, as the man in the yellow sweater is seen using his firearm, and then Migo Bands is also seen by witnesses using his firearm. As in the text messages, it reads that the man Migos was with is the one who also used a firearm. So we now know both people that used firearms at the location. All we need to know now is who is the one who did it to Takeoff. Was it Migo Bands and it was a huge accident, or was it the man in the yellow hoodie? Obviously, a very tragic incident such as this one will have all of the rappers in the music industry wondering if this is all even worth it. Many rappers also started spreading love for Takeoff, as we saw Boosie, who had this to say.
R.I.P. Takeoff, bro. Shaking my head, man. Humble. That music syndicate won't show QC, all the family. We sending some prayers and love for y'all. All Takeoff family, Quavo, Offset, all y'all. That music syndicate won't, send their prayers out. His rap whack, bro. I ain't lying. We targets now, bro. We used to be heroes, Everybody want us out of here, bro. R.I.P. Takeoff.
Now, Boosie is a huge fan of Takeoff. If you are too, leave a like on the video. I'm curious how many Takeoff fans are watching today. Now, this is when we saw Rich the Kid post on his Instagram, and I quote, "Today, I lost more than a brother, my twin, my best friend. I don't want to believe it. I can't. The most humble person I know. We used to share shoes and clothes before we made it with no problem. I miss you already. You didn't deserve that. I can't stop crying. I love you so much, bro, forever." Now, this then led into Master P posting this video to Instagram.
And hip hop is too young. Rest in peace to Takeoff. My condolences goes out to Takeoff family, Quavo, man, all my soldiers and soldier reps. Hip hop has turned to the new streets. We used to be in the streets trying to get into hip hop, which is crazy. When you walk out your house, tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know who might not come back. And no matter how old or young you are, it's crazy. I love y'all soldiers and salute to everybody. Let's save the next generation.
We even then saw Drake post this to his Instagram page. I got the best memories of all of us seeing the world together and bringing light to every city we touched. That's what I'll focus on for now. Rest easy, Spaceman Take. Now I'm curious to know what you believe truly happened. After watching the evidence I shared during this video, do you think maybe something else happened? Let me know down below in the comments and I'll take a look. It's been District Trending and I'm out. Peace.